She had everything except time. What happens when a brilliant young woman realizes her greatest treasure is slipping away? Discover how one moment changed everything, and why waiting for the perfect time might be the biggest mistake of your life. Chapter 1: The Dream That Could Wait. Olivia sat in her small apartment in Lagos, Nigeria, staring at her laptop screen. The cursor blinked endlessly in the blank document. She was 28 years old, highly educated, and completely paralyzed. For 5 years, she had dreamed of starting her own business, an online platform to teach African history to young people around the world. She had sketched logos, written business plans, and even recorded sample lessons. Her friends said she had genuine talent, yet the platform never launched. Why wait? Her best friend Nia would ask during their weekly video calls. You have everything you need. I'm not ready, Olivia would always reply. I need to save more money. I need better equipment. I need a perfect strategy. Maybe next year. Next year never came. Instead, it became next month, next week, next season. Each day, Olivia told herself she would begin tomorrow. Tomorrow was always safer than today. The truth was, Olivia was afraid. What if she failed? What if people criticized her work? What if she wasn't as talented as her friends believed? It was easier to wait in the safety of her imagination than to risk failure in the real world. But something was changing. Her younger brother, Kimmy, had recently launched his own YouTube channel about sustainable living practices. He had no professional camera equipment. He filmed videos on his phone. His first video had only 17 views, but he kept going. Now, 3 months later, he had 15,000 subscribers. I don't understand how you're not doing this yet, Kemi said one evening as they ate jollof rice together in their parents' home. You're better prepared than I was. You have better skills. Why are you waiting? Olivia didn't have a good answer. She only knew that each day that passed felt both like a relief and a small death. Chapter 2: The Unexpected Visitor. 3 weeks later, Olivia received an email that changed everything. It was from Mrs. Armani, a woman who had been her high school history teacher. Dear Olivia, the email began, I am writing to you from the hospital. I have been diagnosed with a serious illness, and I may not have much time left. Before I go, I wanted to reach out to some of my former students to tell you something important. Time is the one currency we cannot earn back. I wasted so many years waiting for the right moment to write my book, to travel, to tell people I love that I love them. Now those moments are gone. Please don't make my mistake. The email was brief, but it hit Olivia like a physical blow. Mrs. Armani had been her favorite teacher, kind, passionate, and full of stories about African history and culture. She was only 62 years old. Olivia called the hospital immediately. She learned that Mrs. Armani was conscious but weak. Could she visit? When Olivia arrived at the hospital room the next day, she barely recognized her former teacher. Mrs. Armani had lost weight, and her skin had a greyish tone, but her eyes were still bright with intelligence and warmth. "Olivia," Mrs. Armani said, her voice thin but steady. "I'm so glad you came." They talked for 2 hours. Mrs. Armani shared stories from her life, some beautiful, some full of regret. She told Olivia about a marriage proposal she had rejected because she wanted to finish her degree first. By the time she finished her degree, the man had married someone else. She told Olivia about the book she had always wanted to write, the one she had researched for 20 years but never actually started. She told Olivia about trips she had postponed, conversations she had delayed, and dreams she had shelved for later. "The cruelest trick time plays on us," Mrs. Armani said, squeezing Olivia's hand, "is that it makes us believe there will always be more of it. There won't be. Every single day, time moves forward. It doesn't care about your hesitation. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. You must move forward anyway." Before Olivia left, Mrs. Armani pressed something into her hand. It was a small, worn notebook. "These are my notes for the book I never wrote," Mrs. Armani said. "I want you to have them. Maybe you can incorporate some of these stories into your platform. Don't let them disappear with me." Chapter 3. The moment everything changed. Olivia didn't sleep that night. She sat on her bed, reading Mrs. Armani's notebook by lamplight. The pages were filled with beautiful, vivid descriptions of African kingdoms, legendary leaders, forgotten heroes, and powerful stories that deserved to be told. One entry made her weep. November 15th, 1998. I finally have time to start writing my book, but I realize I've been saying, "I finally have time" for 30 years. The problem was never time. Time was always there. I was the one who wasn't ready. And now I'm running out of it. Olivia understood something fundamental in that moment. Waiting for perfect conditions was not a strategy. It was a slow form of surrender. She opened her laptop and made a decision. She would launch her platform this week, not next month, not when she had saved more money. This week, she would start with what she had: her knowledge, her passion, and Mrs. Armani's stories. That night, Olivia recorded her first video. She sat in front of her bathroom mirror because the light was best there. She wore her grandmother's traditional cloth as a backdrop. She spoke directly to the camera about the kingdom of Kush and why it mattered to modern African identity. The video was not perfect. Her voice shook in places. There were technical glitches, but it was real, and it was hers. She uploaded it at 3 a.m. on a Thursday morning. The first week, only 92 people watched it, but she didn't stop. She uploaded another video and another. She created a simple website. She joined social media communities. She was clumsy and uncertain, but she was moving. By the end of the first month, she had 500 followers. By the end of 3 months, 5,000. her comments section filled with messages from people around the world. Finally, someone telling our stories from our perspective. This is the content I've been searching for my whole life. You've inspired me to start my own project. Thank you. Chapter 4. The Lesson Beyond the Lesson. 6 months later, Olivia received another message from the hospital. Mrs. Armani had passed away peacefully in her sleep. Her family sent Olivia a letter that Mrs. Armani had written before she died. Dear Olivia, if you're reading this, I am gone. But I want you to know that in my final months, I watched your videos. Twice I watched them. I saw my own stories being told in your voice, reaching people I could never reach, teaching lessons I never had time to teach. You took my unrealized dream and made it real. You honored my life by not waiting like I did. Keep going. Don't let another day slip away. Sincerely, Mrs. Armani. Olivia cried for hours, but they were different tears than before. They were tears of gratitude, not regret. She realized that Mrs. Armani's greatest gift wasn't her notebook or her stories. It was the urgent, unmistakable lesson. Time waits for no one, not for the poor or the rich, not for the young or the old, not for the confident or the afraid. Time moves forward at the same relentless pace for every single human being. The only real choice we have is whether we move with it or stay still. In the following year, Olivia's platform grew beyond her wildest expectations. Universities began using her content. Young Africans in the diaspora reported that her videos helped them reconnect with their heritage. Teachers requested permission to show her lessons in their classrooms. But more importantly, Olivia stopped waiting. When she wanted to take a photography class, she enrolled immediately. When she thought about visiting her grandmother in Accra, she booked the ticket. When a colleague suggested collaborating on a new project, she said yes without hesitation. You seem different, Nia observed during one of their video calls. More alive somehow. I am, Olivia said, because I finally understand something that Mrs. Armani tried to teach me. Waiting is not the same as preparation. Preparation is learning what you need to know. Waiting is using the fear of the unknown as an excuse not to try. She paused, then added, Time doesn't care about our fears. It moves forward anyway. So we might as well move with it. Your turn. 1 year later, Olivia sat down and created a special video. She told Mrs. Armani's story, not with sadness, but with celebration. She talked about the danger of waiting, the cost of hesitation, and the unexpected joy that comes from finally taking action. At the end of the video, she looked directly into the camera and said, Right now, there is something you want to do, a dream you've been postponing, a call you've been afraid to make, a project you've been telling yourself you'll start later, but later never comes. Time waits for no one. Not me, not you, not anyone. The only moment you truly have is this one. What will you do with it? Glossary. Target vocabulary. Cursor. A blinking line on a computer screen that shows where you can type. The cursor moved across the keyboard as she typed her essay. Talent. A natural ability or skill that someone is good at. She had a talent for music and could play the piano beautifully. Strategy. A carefully planned method or approach to achieve a goal. The team developed a strategy to win the game. Sustainable. Able to continue over a long time without damaging the environment or using up resources. The farmer used sustainable practices to protect the soil. Subscribers. People who regularly follow or receive content from a channel, website, or service. She gained 10,000 subscribers on her YouTube channel. Recognize. To identify someone or something because you know them or have seen them before. I didn't recognize my old friend because she had changed so much. Hesitation. A moment of uncertainty or pause before doing something because you're unsure or afraid. His hesitation before jumping into the pool showed he was nervous. Incorporate. To include something as part of a larger whole. To add something to something else. She decided to incorporate her grandmother's recipes into her cookbook. Vivid, bright, clear, and producing strong, clear images in the mind. The artist painted a vivid picture of the sunset with brilliant colors. Followers. People who follow or support a person, especially on social media. An audience. The famous singer has millions of followers on Instagram. What did you think of Olivia's story? Did it inspire you to stop waiting and start doing? We believe in the power of African stories to teach, inspire, and transform. This story teaches us that time waits for no one. And the best moment to start is always now. Please, like this story if it moved you. Comment below. What have you been waiting to do? What will you start today? Subscribe to English through African Stories, ETAS, for more inspiring narratives that will improve your English while connecting you to African wisdom. Together, let's honor the lessons of our ancestors and create a future where we don't wait for the perfect moment. We create it.